gotta work hard to keep the faith and trust. Live your life. We get off the moment we should begin, when happiness could be just around the bend. Nothing get in our way. We can make it to a brighter day if we let nothing get in our way. We can make it to a brighter day. So let's come together right now and make everything
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
You're listening to Blackbeat New York, the Flo Wiley Show here on WHCR 90.3 FM. May you rest in peace, Mr. Nicholas Ashford. Thank you for all of the wonderful, wonderful memories and the great music that you left us to remember you by. I want to say this. I don't know where the people are that I'm supposed to be interviewing at 6:15. Hopefully they will call up when they're supposed to. I will be thoroughly and completely pissed if they don't. I just have to say that. Pissed is not one of those 7 words I cannot say. And one of the reasons I'm going to be so annoyed if they don't call up is that I turned down an interview with a loyal listener who's got a hot program going on Saturday night because I had these people booked already. So we're going to let it roll and see how it happens. And I'm not going to be crazy, irregardless, as my people in Arkansas like to say, irregardless of what goes on, my joy is going to be intact. I want to take this opportunity to tell you about some things that are going on in the world of the arts, and I'm going to play a little bit of the Harlem Chamber Players underneath me. And the reason I'm doing that is that they're having their spring concert. This is a piece of the Billy McDaniel Sextet for wind and piano, and it's a perfect length for me to do this. They're having their spring concert at St. Mary's Church. I'm going to get the details out here and tell you all about that. So let me tell you about some things going on. Before I tell you about the Harlem Chamber Players, let me tell you that some of you are on Facebook and you've seen this message that's been going around about the 200 plus young girls who were abducted from their boarding school in northeastern Nigeria. Well, there is a rally that's being held on Saturday, May 3rd from noon until 2 p.m. at Union Square in Manhattan. That's down on East 14th and University Place. And what they're asking, evidently, is for women especially to come out, but certainly brothers are always happy and expected to support and welcome to support, let me say. But this is, the theme is, hashtag Bring Back Our Girls is the Twitter feed if you want to go there. Rock a crown for number 234. That's how many young girls were abducted from their boarding school in northeastern Nigeria. And so what they're asking you to do is come out on Saturday between noon and 2 to Union Square, downtown and East 14th Street and University Place. Wear your head wrap or gele and join in to bring awareness and to pray for the families and the 234 young girls who were abducted. We can't let these things go without saying that we think it's wrong. So here's an opportunity. If you've been reading about this on Facebook, you're right here in New York City, here's a chance for you to do something. The National Black Theater and the Classical Theater of Harlem present the 50th anniversary of Dutchman by Leroy Jones, as he was known then. He passed away recently as Amiri Baraka. It's directed by Carl Cofield. It's been in previews since the 30th. It plays through the 23rd of May. The opening night is May 3rd. And if you go to the website, there is a detailed performance schedule. And the closing night is May 23rd. Now, what's interesting about going to the website is you will find out which of the performances will have a talkback following it. And I'm suspecting those are going to sell out first, because this is the kind of play that you really, really want to talk about it when it's over. It happened last night. It's a one-act play, so it's not terribly long. And when it's over, you're kind of not ready to leave because, you want to talk about this thing. And so they are having a series of talkbacks. I understand they're on the weekend performances. And there's a lobby exhibit, Where Are We Now?, a retrospective on the Black Theater movement. Now, go to nationalblacktheater.org or cthnyc.org. That's for Classical Theater of Harlem. And you can get more details. Now, I would have provided you more details, and maybe I will yet have an opportunity should these lovely people call me up for this interview, since they didn't show up here in the studio. Hope springs eternal, don't you know? I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to it irregardless, but I'm going to do that later on in the show. This Sunday at 3 is the spring finale concert of Wind Serenades, being presented by the Harlem Chamber Players. I love chamber music. It's small group music. It's just so good for my particular spirit. St. Mary's Episcopal Church is the location for this concert. It's at 521 West 126th Street, and that's between Broadway and Amsterdam. It's at 3 p.m. this coming Sunday, May 4th. And the program includes a Hummel partita in E-flat major, a Pleyel, I believe that's how you say it, Pleyel, partita in B-flat major, and a Beethoven octet in E-flat, Opus 103. Now, that's not a Beethoven chamber piece that I know, so I'm very interested in seeing what they are going to present. It's hosted by Eric Washington, who's a journalist, historian, and author of the book Manhattanville, Old Heart of West Harlem. The featured players are Steve Moran on double bass, Amy Frazier and David Miller on bassoon, Eric Davis and Derek Clark on French horn, Carl Jackson and Liz Player on clarinet, Hassan Anderson and Sarah Scrooby on oboe, and the conductor is Tali Makel. So that's going to be a really, really awesome and fun time on Sunday afternoon. The tickets are reasonable, and there is a reduced price ticket from even that reasonableness for students and seniors. And did you know that May is National Chamber Music Month? Here's a way for you to kick off the month with an appropriate celebration of chamber music. The Harlem Chamber Players spring finale concert is this Sunday. Also taking place this Sunday, May 4th, Miss Brianna Thomas is the featured artist at Abyssinian Jazz Vespers, which this time is a part of the Harlem Jazz Shrines Festival. So it's at 4 p.m., doors open at 3:30, and there it's at Abyssinian Baptist Church, which is at 132 Odell Clark Place, or what is that street? 130... 7th, 8th, or 9th. I just know where it is. I don't know what the street number is. But Odell Clark Place is the official name of the street. Jazz in the Spirit is the theme of Abyssinian Jazz Vespers. 4 o'clock on Sunday, May 4th. The phone number, if you would like to call for more information about that, is 212-862-7474. That's 212-862-7474. Now, HarlemChamberPlayers.org. HarlemChamberPlayers.org is the place you can go online for more information about the Harlem Chamber Players and their tickets. This is the week of Harlem Jazz Shrines. The Festival 2014 is back. You know, it comes around every spring, presented by the Apollo Theater, Harlem Stage, and Jazzmobile in collaboration with Columbia University. And this week, Sunday, I mentioned it kicks off with Jazz Vespers at Abyssinian featuring Brianna Thomas. And then on Monday at the Apollo, there's a live wire discussion on the roots of Afro-Latin jazz at 6:30 p.m. and it's free with a reservation. ApolloEducation.org. ApolloEducation.org is where you get those free tickets. Then 7 o'clock at Minton's, Jazzmobile at Minton's presents Kansas City Lightning, The Rise and Fall of Charlie Parker, a conversation with Stanley Crouch and Dr. Farad Griffin of Columbia. A reservation is required there. There is a ticket price, which is reasonable. However, there is also a 2-drink minimum. MintonsHarlem.com. MintonsHarlem.com is where you get those reservations. Following the conversation, at 7 o'clock. At 10 p.m., Minton's Playhouse, New Legends on the Bandstand Late Night Jam with Antonio Hart and special guests. Again, reservations are required. The ticket price is low and there is a 2-drink minimum. And here's the number to call to get those reservations. 212-243-2222. 212-243-2222. Now, the next things that happen are on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. There's a conversation about James Baldwin. The tickets are free to that. And then the action shifts over to Showman's on Tuesday night. Even though it is closing, it is still open. Showman's Late Night Jazz featuring Nathan Lucas. And there is a minimum per set per person. And then further on at 10 p.m., all of this is Tuesday night, Minton's Playhouse, New Legends on the Bandstand, Late Night Jam with Christian Sands. One last thing I need to tell you about, and that's Wednesday. Wednesday, the action shifts to Harlem Stage Gatehouse. They get included in the mix. The Minton's Playhouse thing that I mentioned with Christian Sands, that's at Jenny's Supper Club at the Red Rooster. That's not at Minton's Playhouse. It's celebrating Minton's Playhouse. See, that's what the Harlem Jazz Shrines Festival is all about. It celebrates all these places where jazz had a spot, the Savoy, Minton's, Showman's, and so forth. Now, at the Harlem Stage Gatehouse at 7:30 on Wednesday night, there's a tribute to the Park Palace. Yes, baby. A Latin double bill with Manuel Valera and Aruan Ortiz. And then at 7:30 on Wednesday, what is it that happens every Wednesday at 7:30? Apollo Amateur Night, don't you know, featuring Imani Grace Cooper and Jeffrey Gallant. They've got a new theme song. Their competition was won this week. They've got a new, now these people are standing up outside the studio right now, waving at me. I'm live talking to you. So as soon as I stop talking to you, I will go open the door and let them in, and we'll see what they have to say about Dutchman. But I want to finish telling you that if you want to get the full schedule of what's going on, T.S. Monk is the last thing I wanted to tell you about. T.S. Monk is at Jenny's Supper Club at 10 p.m. on Wednesday the 7th. You can go to the Apollo website. You can go to Jazzmobile website. There is even a HarlemJazzShrines.org website, okay? It's a big schedule, and I want you to know about it. It goes on from the 4th through the 10th. Some of it is free, some of it is super reasonable, but some of it does require a reservation. Okay, I've got a piece of music here. I'm playing show tunes and soundtracks. This is a track from the motion picture Tsotsi, which came out of South Africa and won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Film the year it came out. This is the South African hip-hop artist Zola, and this one is called 7. I just love the rhythm of this piece. You're listening to Black Beat New York, the Flo Wiley Show here on Whcr 90.3 FM, Harlem Community Radio.
What am I good father? What am I good Lord? fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ehi, ho fatto passare, se fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ho fatto passare, se fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ora faccio il po', se fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ora poco lo fa, se fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ho fatto passare, se fede con lei un ciao. Fatela, ho fatto passare, se fede con lei un ciao. Se fede. My brothers keep on, c'è una vita varia skip on. Hanno King Antonio, skip up a con i mani come Pasolini. And my brothers keep on, c'è una vita varia skip on.
I hate to do this, but I gotta break into this groove. I love this groove. If you don't have this CD at your house, you're missing so much fun. You don't know what I'm talking about. Sotsi is the name of the movie, TSOTSI. My guests are here in the studio with me now, and I do want to take a minute, since they have been waiting patiently outside the studio for a half an hour. I'm gonna, relent and be gracious and talk to them about Dutchman. Welcome to Black Beat New York. I have Carl Cofield, who is the director of the piece, and also Jonathan McCrory, who is the, let's say, recently appointed. I won't say newly appointed. I don't know how long before people start saying newly appointed. The recently appointed director of theater arts at Dr. Barbara Ann Tears National Black Theater. So welcome to Black Beat New York, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
I'm delighted to have you here. Oh, now I got to do a disclaimer. I was telling my audience, Dutchman is one of those really, really difficult pieces for me. On so many, I got a lot of buttons, and it seems to just push them all.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, and I was saying to them that when I came to see the show last night, when it was over, I was like, where's everybody going? Can we talk about this?
Yeah.
And then when I saw the press materials, I said, yes, they have made preparation to give the audience that satisfaction, because it's too much. Too many issues are raised that, I know you're celebrating the 50th year. I cannot believe how much of this stuff is still unresolved in our culture.
Yes.
But even though it's 50 years ago, 64, I think, and so now this is 2014. People are afraid to look each other in the eye and engage, because this stuff is still current.
Yes.
And you guys, I don't know, y'all ain't 50, so y'all weren't even around when this was fresh and new and mind blowing, and yet it still is. So to your generation, talk to me about why NBT would do this.
Yes.
And for you, Carl, as a young black man directing this, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I want you to talk to me about the experience of it. And in 2 minutes, I got to take a station break, so don't be offended. We'll just do the break. Okay.
So, for National Black Theater, and it's a co-collaboration, a co-production with Classical Theater of Harlem, for both of us, it was a chance and a moment for us to celebrate and actually dive deeper into a connection, exactly what you were talking about. And at NBT, the main focus is trying to create a holistic experience.
Okay.
So the idea is that you're not just coming there just to see a piece of theater. You don't just go there, sit there, and what you experienced last night, and then afterwards it's done. The connection is done.
Right.
The transformation happens afterwards.
Right.
The theater is just the vehicle in which we expose ourselves, and then afterwards is where we have the civic dialogue and also the conversation. So for people who come during the run, they'll experience a lobby exhibit that actually explores the tapestry of the Black arts movement, explores the deep love and connection that this work came out of to Black theater, Black authenticity. They will also experience the words of Amiri Baraka. Like when you walk into the elevator, the first thing that you will hear is Amiri Baraka at Dr. Barbara Ann Tears' funeral. And the connection,
I was there.
There was a love connection between them that was so deeply intertwined, so deeply connected. And that's some of the reason why we're doing the piece, right? Is because to celebrate that connection between those two pivotal people within our culture.
One of these days somebody is going to write the Barbara Amiri story. Because
amazing.
For as much as they were culture warriors and serious revolutionaries in the purest sense of that word, they did not walk in lockstep with each other.
No.
But they found a way to agree and yet to disagree,
The love,
and yet be
yes.
agreeable.
Yes,
Yeah,
the love, and that's really what we're celebrating here. We're celebrating a pivotal piece, but also the love of these two dynamic warriors,
Right,
Who
right.
who for most people sometimes they don't understand the connection and then the deep connection and where it came from.
Right, and they also did not understand each of them individually
yes,
either.
yeah. But like
All you have to do to become a hero in this country is die. You know, all of a sudden everybody loves you. People
Yeah.
who did not understand how to say your name.
Yeah.
You know, you're not here anymore, and so you're elevated to some kind of God status. So Carl, talk to me about directing Dutchman.
Well, Dutchman is definitely one of the pieces that, even as a young theater student, resonates with me on so many different levels as an artist, as a black man who is trying to walk the tightrope that is America. I mean, the piece speaks to me so vividly. And when I had the opportunity to do it with Classical Theater of Harlem and National Black Theater, I said, I mean, this is the perfect time, and these are the perfect places to sort of pay homage to this man. And what a better way to do it than to explore and reinvestigate this work.
Yeah.
And how timely is it that we're doing this work that has a serious conversation about race
Yeah.
with the current events that are going on now?
Well, unfortunately, being as that we are in the United States of America, it would be timely whenever we did it.
Hey.
And
because
Flo,
we
that's
have a race problem that
Hey.
we are just not addressing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
And when we had our first meetings, one of the things that resonated with me the most is that this subway train seems to keep going. And for the listeners who haven't seen the play yet, the play takes place on a subway car in 1964.
Right.
And what I tried to convey is that this subway car could be 1964, it could be 2014, and something tells me in my soul that if we come back and reinvestigate this work in 2025, this conversation could still be going on. So the subway
I
car
don't
is
want to
just.
hear that. I'm going to rebuke that in the name of everybody.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I hope to God you're right. But
Yeah.
it seems to be the
Yeah.
train is just rolling.
It's interesting you would say that about the train going on, because the end in when I first saw it was so shocking. I did not see it coming, because I had seen the play before and I knew how it ended. I was nervous when I was getting to the end, because I didn't want it to happen, you know. But a thing happened to me when it was over, when the final scene happened. I said, this train is in purgatory.
Yes.
And then you just now said this train, it could be anywhere, and it really does. It's like the the subway car exists in a realm of consciousness.
Yes.
You know,
Pure
Yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Pure
So,
consciousness.
director, I got it.
Good. I'm glad that was legible.
I got it.
It was visceral and like,
Yeah, definitely. So you let me just get to some of the specifics. Sharif Atkins of White Collar, of ER, of Hawaii, is starring as Clay.
Yeah.
And the young woman who is doing Lula, Ambien Mitchell,
Correct.
tearing up that stage.
Yes.
Turn it up.
Woo!
Yes.
I had to say, go ahead, girl, and commit.
Yes.
Because it cannot be easy to
No.
say those words in 2014 in Harlem.
Let me just tell you, to that credit, Jonathan at National Black Theater and Classical Theater made the environment so safe and so encouraging to support that type of art, because
Right.
it's difficult.
It is.
You know, it is
It
really
is.
difficult for an actor to live with this for 6
Sure,
weeks.
absolutely.
And I just want to just say that before.
Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to tell you all something. Hold on a minute.
Yes.
WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
You're listening to Black Beat New York, the Flo Wiley Show. I got another interview getting ready to call in here in a minute, but I'm going to keep talking until the phone rings. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I just want to give knowledge to source. So Dr. Tier was the first person that helped to make the safe space. So that
Yes, she did.
because of the work of her commitment to this community, she created a safe, fertile space that allowed for transformation to come through the
Right.
vehicle of MBT Now and
Right.
CTH Now.
Right,
And so
right.
I think that what you are experiencing is a safe space that goes back 45 years. A
Yes,
safe
it does.
space of love that goes back 45 years.
Right.
And it's just that it's a privilege to actually be able to acknowledge that source.
Yeah.
And a privilege to be able to even feel that. What you experience is an acknowledgement that the work that we are doing at MBT and the work that CTH are doing together is actually an extension of a long lineage.
Well, I got to tell you, for me, the purest manifestation of what Dr. Tier set up is going to come about with these conversations. So you're calling them community engagements.
Yes.
So it's in two parts. It's the lobby exhibit
Yes.
and the elevator that experience that you mentioned, but it's also symposia and talkbacks, and it says here during the weekend shows.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there'll be conversations and symposiums that will be with the artists, so with the director and the actors and some of the designers, but also with some pioneers in the field who are still alive. So we're at a very interesting precipice where a lot of the people who started the Black Arts movement and a lot of people who are starting a new movement are both together. And looking at it retrospectively, how is the energy being passed on? I'm a young man, and at the same time, I feel like I'm connected deeply. That like my spirit was always designed to live with MBT.
That's how you got to be where you are. These things don't happen by coincidence.
So therefore,
Yeah.
we want to be able to create a space to allow for that collision to be articulated, and also for that collision to be celebrated. So allow our legends to be in the
Interesting.
room with some of the pioneers, and allow for us to have a discourse.
Sure, and to allow our young people who have not a clue how to put this stuff in context, who don't understand why that old lady on the bus flinches every time you say that word.
Yeah.
It's also a unique opportunity for them, for those who get there, whether they are dragged or they come voluntarily, however they get in the room.
Yes.
Just being in the room for this conversation
Yes.
is going to be wonderful.
Yes.
It really, really is. So when will these happen?
So they'll happen during the weekend. So we have one scheduled for the 10th. That will
Next
be the
weekend.
symposium.
Okay.
So the 10th, the 17th, and the 18th. So the
Okay.
the 2 weekends. After every show, there will be a talk back.
Oh,
so
okay.
after every show during the run of the show, either myself or David Roberts from CTH, we will
Okay.
host a conversation with the community, really allowing for, because something that we have realized at MBT is that a panel is great, right? A panel is great in esteem, but also within the room, there's history, there's legacy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's also experience. So to allow for each other to actually have that discourse will actually allow for the community to heal each other versus always looking outside ourselves in order to heal each other.
All right. I'm sorry you guys were standing outside waiting that long, but
good.
I am thrilled that we got to have this conversation. My next interview is on the phone. I just want to repeat the National Black Theater and the Classical Theater of Harlem present the 50th anniversary of Dutchman by Leroy Jones, as he was then known, by Amiri Baraka, as he came to be known. It's directed by Mr. Carl Cofield, and we have been speaking with him and with Jonathan McCrory, the director of the Theater Arts Program at Dr. Barbara Ann Tier's National Black Theater, about this production, which has its official opening Saturday, May 3rd, and it is open until the 23rd of May. However, you need not to sleep this, okay? There's a couple of websites you can go to: nationalblacktheater.org, cthnyc.org, and you can always call the National Black Theater. They are such wonderful people. They will answer any question you have. 212-722-3800, 212-722-3800. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to talk to me. I've got to go
Yeah, thank you, Flo.
and take my other interview. I took the music off. I was going to play Tootsie while she came on, but I may have to go right into my interview because I don't want to keep her waiting. We're talking, that's Mahin Benetti on the phone. We're going to talk about the 21st edition of the New York African Film Festival. So there's good stuff going on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. All right.
I'm going to have to cut into this again. Evidently, this is my segue piece. But I've got the wonderful Miss Mahin Benetti on the line, and I'm going to press her live right now. Mahin, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Welcome to Black Beat New York. You are live on the air, my dear.
Okay. Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm delighted. I'm always excited to know what's going on with the New York African Film Festival. And this year is, as every other year that I have had the experience of participating, a great one. So let's get right going. And you're going to be in 3 venues. You're going to be at 2 theaters at Lincoln Center, the Walter Reed, which was your home until they built the other place across the street. Now you're going to be in both of them.
Right.
And I really like
the
that.
Theater, which is across the street.
Right.
And all their theaters, of course, are just fantastic for the cinematic.
They really are. I mean, I thought I enjoyed Walter Reed, and then I went to see something across the street at the Eleanor Monroe Center.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Oh my God, it's so fabulous. It's so comfortable and perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you're going to be uptown here at Maisel Cinema.
That's right.
For the 15th to the 18th, and then you travel to Brooklyn for your home as a part of the Dance Africa weekend.
That's right.
At BAM Cinematheque.
The great celebration and a great way to end the festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I wish I had more time. I think I have an hour a week, because I could talk to you alone just about African cinema and where it is and where it's been and where it's going. But let's take a few minutes and I want to talk about Confusion Nawa.
Okay.
I want to talk about Half of a Yellow Sun.
Yes.
And I'm so delighted you're bringing back Sarawunia.
The epic, by Med Hondo.
Right. Now, that's what I want to talk about. You can talk about anything you want to talk. I'm sorry.
It closes the festival on the 13th at the Film Society of Lincoln Center's location, yes.
Right. So that's what I want to talk about. Now, you could talk about anything you want to talk about as long as we get those 3 things in.
Okay. Well, as you said, the festival opens on Wednesday, May 7th. And it's once again co-presented with the Film Society of Lincoln Center. And this year the festival is presented under the banner, Revolution and Liberation in the Digital Age. As we know across the globe right now, there's this year and for several years have been marked by struggle and revolution.
Right.
So this year's festival explores the idea of struggle and revolution from a variety of perspectives under this theme. And the festival will, of course, pay homage. And the way we program, we want to believe that every film sort of weaves a story.
Sure.
So if someone came in to just see one film, they'll get an idea of what the story is under this banner theme. So we're paying, and this year is especially, personal to me as well, because we're paying homage to Africa's largest industry, and most of the films are films that have been produced, inspired by, or made in Nollywood.
Nigeria.
Yes, and that's the world's second largest movie industry, and it's a fascinating archetype of cultural production in the digital age.
We expect no less from. I lived in Nigeria for 2.5 years, and if there's a cutting edge thought to be had, it's being had in Nigeria.
Yes, and everyone, a lot of people have this idea of Nollywood being this hyper melodramatic soap opera type of cinema, which does exist, and that's a large market. You look at Latin America, you look at Asia.
Exactly.
Yes. But
let's not look our nose down at it. You're reaching a lot of people.
Exactly. But each generation is going to bring another form, another structure. They're going to raise the bar, the production value, and tell the story from their perspective of their generation. And so, and this generation has found the perfect way to marry both art house and popular cinema.
Excellent.
And so it's really wonderful to bring this to our audiences here in New York, and American and international audiences. And also this year marks the centennial of Nigeria. So it's a perfect fit to really, pay homage to Nollywood in this year's festival. And as well, of course, there's South Africa, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And so Confusion Awa is this year's opening film, and it's made by a young director named Kenneth Nyang. It's his first feature, and of course, it's always made on a very minuscule budget, and it's a story that brings in a lot of social commentary, and most of all about technology, because everything is centered around a cell phone, and all the people who are, indirectly or directly associated to this phone. And he brings the theme of religion, of gender, of class.
Oh, that's one of the things I love about film.
Yes.
You get to do all of that as in the telling of whatever the story is you're telling.
Exactly, and he does it without hitting you over the head. You laugh a lot, but after you leave, that fleeting moment is when you can think about, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I just saw, a Muslim and a Christian. I just saw, a rich guy trying to, take advantage of a poor person. And, it's very well done. And this guy has a bright future. So
excellent.
This is a wonderful film.
And is the filmmaker's name again?
Kenneth Nyang.
Okay, I'm going to keep his name in mind as we go forward.
You really should.
And it's spelled Gyang.
No, it's spelled, it's with a, actually it's with a, I'm sorry, G-Y, yes, you have it, G-Y. You said K, yes, Gyang. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's quite all right. And then we've got this film that by this writer that's been getting so much attention, and deservedly so. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Yes.
Okay. Half of a Yellow Sun with a star-studded cast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she has not only international stars that are known overseas or here in America, but she also has Africa's
stars.
Leading movie stars. And that's one good thing about Nollywood, it created a star system. And that's the appeal of it. And it also gave a template to all the regions on the continent to jumpstart their own cinema. So for whatever you might think about the cinema, it has really been very beneficial to the entire continent.
It's been an economic development engine. There's no question about it. None.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate when I was in Nigeria 100,000 years ago, Ola Balogun was new,
Exactly.
And so after I left and this Nollywood thing began to take over, I said, oh my God, this is why when you have an unction in your spirit to do something, you have to do it, because you don't know what it means for the future. Yes. There's an old Seminole saying, we do what we do, not for now, but for the good it does unto the seventh generation. And when I see Nollywood having, as now you're telling me, set this economic development template for the region, I'm thinking, had not Ola Balogun persevered and did what he did, these kids, newly born, or some not even conceived at the time, would not have known that they could do this.
And that came from the traveling theater, that was very popular in mainly not only English-speaking Africa, but throughout the continent. And that traveling theater was the segued from those sort of popular novels that we read in the 60s as children.
I have to digress to tell you a quick story about that traveling theater. I can't remember the man's name whose theater I saw, but when he came...
Love, maybe?
Maybe. It's a long time ago, girl. Anyway.
Okay. I know, you're telling me.
Right. But he was...
so much information.
So much. So the theater company was performing, and the audience was a part of it. They were talking back. They were interactive. Exactly. And I said, now, you mean to tell me, here we are in America trying to get the audience to shut up and listen.
Yes.
And here they are following something that's in the blood that says, no, I'm a part of this.
But that's just it. It's the call and response. It's like the drum.
Exactly.
It's like the bush telephone,
Yeah.
You have to respond because that gives the energy to the performer to go on,
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Now, how do people get tickets? They can go to your website. They can go to FilmLink.
Yes, .com.
FilmLink.com. FILMLINC.com.
That's right.
All right. And the tickets are on sale now because
That's
you're
right.
opening on Wednesday. And then which of these we have only talked about, before I go away, Half of a Yellow Sun, directed by B. Bandele. From where?
B. Bandele is from Nigeria.
Right.
And he's considered a diaspora Nigerian, but he is from Nigeria and he lives in London.
And we've got Tandy Newton, Anika Noni Rose, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Thank God he has taught us how to say his name.
Yes, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
And it takes, and it takes place it's a period piece in 1960s
right.
Nigeria.
In the 60s, exactly.
All right. So those of you that have not read this book or the one she was at the Schomburg talking about, come see the movie. Start at the end and then progress to the beginning. And more information about this about the whole festival and the whole festival schedule is on AfricanFilmNY.org. AfricanFilmNY.org. Now, I just want to talk a minute about what's going to happen when it comes uptown to Maisels. Which of the films are coming uptown?
Well, we open with an amazing film called Miners Shut Down. It's by Riha Desai from South Africa. You know about 2 years ago, the incident of the miners.
Yes.
Where there was a standstill, and unfortunately, a lot of them were shot, and killed, and I think yes, it's a sad incident, but at the same time, it is a good opportunity to have a discussion about where we go forward.
Yes,
now
it is.
And that's what I was saying. We're weaving the story because all these films weave a story of pre-colonial, colonial, and post-colonial history of Africa and the documentation of society of these periods. And that's what I love about our films. They put a mirror to our face because I am doing this. I want to believe for us to have a discussion amongst ourselves.
Yes.
This is what is important. It's like the African courtyard. We go there, we lay complaints, or we talk about progress that's taking place, and we all share that information. That is important.
It's extremely important.
Yes.
And I was having a discussion with my son recently. When I lived in Nigeria, when I came back, I said to my late brother, I said, I think every African American has to go and live in Africa. You have to go long enough to be not a tourist. You have to go for like a minimum of 3 weeks. You have to get the I'm a visitor thing behind you and experience what it is like. People who come from the Caribbean have a sense of it. But there is nothing like being in a culture where you are everything. I tell when your picture is on the toothpaste, okay?
Yes. But the thing is also, even when you go to Harlem, if you go to the South, you're in Africa.
Yeah.
But you see, we're not aware of that because we haven't gone there. Once you get there, and as you said, if you let yourself go with no preconceived idea of what you're going to meet, you fall in stride. You
do.
It's your rhythm.
Yeah. Yes, you do. And you discover things that it's like, how do I know that? How do I know how to do that? Because it's what I call blood memory. It's just there. It's there. So film is an inexpensive way.
And a powerful way.
A powerful way.
Yes.
Especially when after you see that film, you could talk about what you just saw in that film.
There could be a sound of smell or color, and you know that. It's familiar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You become part of that,
Yeah. So, Mayan, thank you so much for calling in to talk to us.
Thank you for having us, and please come and see the film.
I'm definitely.
Every venue that you go to, you will pick up the thread of the story, and some of the filmmakers will be here, and each year we say, oh my goodness, what a struggle, but it's one that's worth it.
Now, let me just ask you something. Are there schedules at Maisels in Harlem?
Yes, there are.
Okay,
definitely.
Good. Okay,
there are.
Okay, great.
Yes, they have them right now, in fact.
Excellent. So Maisel Cinema is on Lenox Avenue. What is that, 127th?
Between 126th and 127th. And another important thing about Maisels, there's a collective from Sudan. Everything we hear about Sudan, you see, this is what we hear. The nightly news or the headlines is always about warfare, but people live their lives every day.
Every day.
There's this program that a young Sudanese woman has started, training, especially women and journalists and people from civic society, and they've made these short films that are fabulous, that just talk about their lives. So that one is a really important program to come and see.
Okay.
And some of the Sudanese filmmakers will come.
Okay, good. Well, because that's not for a couple of weeks, I'll have a chance to go into the Maisel schedule in greater depth.
Yes.
But Mahin, thank you. I will see you Wednesday.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's my pleasure.
We look forward to seeing you at the movies.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Black Beat New York, the Flo Wiley Show here on Whcr 90.3 FM. I've got some tickets to give away, and so I'm going to do that while I play a piece of music from the soundtrack for Crooklyn. You'll recognize it. I play it all the time because I love it so much. The number to call is 212-650-6903, 212-650-6903, and I'm giving away a pair of tickets to Banana Pudding Jazz Jam, Saturday, May 3rd. I'm giving away a pair of tickets to Dutchman. I'm giving away a pair of tickets to the African Film Festival. So, call me, tell me what you want, 212-650-6903. By the grace of God, I'll be right back here next week. See if you can't join me, baby. Somehow, I think that's the wrong track. So let me just put the right track on and let Sean sit down here, and then I will be done because I want to play this track right here. Oh, and somebody's calling me for the tickets. Okay, we're good to go.
People make the world go round. Make the world go round. Trash man didn't get my trash today. Oh, why? Because they want more pay. Buses on strike, I wanna raise them fare so they can help pollute the air. But they're what makes the world go round. The ups and downs are carousels, changing people's heads around.
I got one pair of tickets left. Oh, the phone just rang. Sorry about that. See you next week.
People make the world go round. People make the world go round. Wall Street losing dough on every share. They're blaming it on longer hair. Big pin smoking in the easy chair. On a fancy car without a care.